you hate the thought of working past 55 or 60? Do you hate not being able to live the life you deserve today? Do you hate not knowing what your financial future looks like? It's time to stop doing what you hate. Here's your host, Mr. Harold Green.
Hello, everyone. This is Harold Green of Bright Tree Financial Group, and it is time to stop doing what you hate. How are you today? Hope you are having a fantastic day. It's Memorial Day for me, and decided to get up a little bit early. Not too early, but just, to me today, I kind of slept in. So for the average person, it's called getting up early. But for me, it was kind of like I slept in a little bit. And, I've made a major decision. I don't feel comfortable sharing it right now, but I think I'll share it a little bit later, once I have some more ducks in a row. But I've made a major decision. And it happened very fast. And I'm going to share with you folks the title of today's show. It's How to Overcome. And one of the hardest things you're going to find in life is when you come up against obstacles and limitations, how to overcome, how to get through it to the other side. Years and years ago, I'm just going to put some stuff out here today. And again, this show is not meant to offend anybody or hurt anybody's feelings, but it's to help you get from where you are today to where you really want to get to. And I'm going to be honest with you, you're going to have to overcome. Either you're going to have to soar above it and overcome it, or you're going to settle with it and put up with it for the rest of your life. So are you ready? 1, 2, 3, let's get it. Years ago, I used to work for this life insurance company in their customer relations department. And my first job was just client relations. And my job was to call people up and talk to them about their life insurance policies. We service the orphan clients, and it's basically the people that their agent either passed away, quit doing what they're doing, or they do something entirely different. And so the people were just kind of left to fend for themselves. And so this life insurance company created something called the orphan client department. And, it's a tough name, but it's people that were just left, people that were abandoned. And they didn't know who else to go to. And so the life insurance company created this department. And, I got hired in that department to help take care of these people. And it was hard because I would call people up and they were sold these life insurance policies that were decent policies, but the agents had lied to them in regards to how these policies were supposed to be performing. And it didn't go too well. I got cursed out. I got yelled at. Because for me, I was just an extension of the company, so I took the brunt of it. I mean, they put it all on me. And so, because I was the first point of contact, so I had incoming all the time. And, I had to get some thick skin. That job, along with being a telemarketer when I was a teenager, that job helped me grow some pretty thick skin. And it helped me deal with rejection. It helped me deal with just the nastiness of human nature, how nasty people can be when things don't go their way. It was bad. And so my coworker, who was kind of one pay grade ahead of me in a different position, his job was actually to go out there and meet with the people one-on-one. So it was so hard. He just said, you know what, Harold, I'm not going to do this no more. So he quit. He said, you know what, why don't you take the job? You're pretty good at this. So I took the job, and it paid me double what I was making. And so I had to go out and talk to these people. And interesting enough, it was some very, very interesting people that I got a chance to talk to. Some of them were doctors, lawyers. It was some of who's who that had bought these life insurance policies that no longer had an agent. And so I had to go out there and talk to these guys. And I remember one day, I kid you not, I went out to see this doctor. He was an optometrist. And he was one of the nastiest people I had ever met. I mean, he was just downright mean. He looked so down on me and said some ridiculous things. And I said, God, you know what? I said, I don't want to keep doing this with these people. I don't want to do that with these people. And I said, it was something about the kind of position that I wanted didn't exist. The kind of things that I wanted in life in terms of a career, in terms of a job or whatever it was, those things did not exist. So I'm driving downtown Honolulu, and the Lord specifically spoke to me and said, if it doesn't exist, create it, because that's what I did. And that thing hit me like a ton of bricks. If it does not exist, created. And from that point on, I got on this mad journey to create what it was that I wanted in life. But it didn't come without any obstacles or limitations. I can tell you that for sure. I had plenty of obstacles and plenty of limitations. And so one of the things that I started doing was I started coming out with these positive confessions. You guys call them affirmations or whatever you might want to call them, brainwashing techniques or whatever. So one of the ones I wrote down on my paper is, because I trust in the Lord, He causes me to soar and overcome all obstacles and limitations. And that has been one of my mantras for a very long time. Every time I come up against some kind of situation, I go back to that over and over and over again. And what it does is it does a couple of things for me. Number one, it helps me understand that there is a path forward. There is a path forward. There's a way over this. I just can't figure it out right now. I can't see it right now. But because of this thing that I say to myself over and over and over again, guess what my mind begins to do? My mind begins to figure a way out. Now, sometimes it doesn't line up with how I feel. And I'm going to tell you that straight up. Sometimes the answer to your problem to overcome is not a comfortable one. You may hurt some people's feelings. You may make some people upset with you. But the question is simply this: do you want to be an overcomer or an underwhelmer? You can either be an overcomer or an underwhelmer. And what do I mean by that? It's basically a mindset, because it takes courage to overcome. It takes courage to overcome. Doesn't take any courage to be underwhelming. As a matter of fact, people who are underwhelming, a lot of times they don't have any courage. Why? It's just their makeup. It's just their mindset. It's just how they were created sometimes. Sometimes it's just who they are until they learn how to get that skill set and how to develop that skill set. It's not going to happen no matter how bad people want it. I think I was having a conversation with somebody the other day, and they were telling me about an obstacle in their life. And, it was just one of those things where I said, hey, here's how you overcome. I got a million reasons why. But. I said, well, why are you sharing the obstacle if you don't want the answer to overcome it? You can settle with that, and you can deal with that, and you can put up with that. And it's going to cost you mental anguish and unhappiness. And so either you take the suggestion and you overcome, or you constantly deal with the problem. You can overcome or you can underwhelm. And one of the recent things I had to deal with was a situation where it's a business situation, and basically every single year, because of rules and regulations and different things like that, we had to jump through so many different hoops, and we were at the beck and call of someone else because of rules and regulations. And if we didn't get this one thing done, my business could be practically shut down. And it was my responsibility to pay a firm to do this one particular thing for my firm to make sure that on a certain date, information was provided to the regulatory authorities that my business was still legit and good to go. We had enough money to run the company. We weren't going to be insolvent. All of our books are in order. All of our accounting is up to date. Our compliance is good. We had to pay tens of thousands of dollars to get this one thing done. And in some cases, this one thing can cost your firm up to $200,000 to $300,000, depending on how extensive it is. It is not cheap. Was it an obstacle? Yes. But I figured out a way to overcome the obstacle. And I'll share with you guys what that was later on down the road. Now, here's the thing about overcoming obstacles and challenges and limitations. The rewards are phenomenal. The rewards are multifaceted. There's more and more benefits than you can ever imagine when you come through and you overcome and you come out on the other side. But you're going to have courage in order to do so. Either you can overcome or you can underwhelm. And I just wanted to share this with you guys today because I know there's so many people that are facing a lot of different challenges right now. And one of the things I recently went through was I had lost a handful of clients because of my belief system and the way I trade the market with my rapid retire program and things like that. I lost some people, and it hurt because I had high hopes for the relationship. I had high hopes to work with them. I had high hopes for their future. I had high hopes for what it was that we were getting done. And we were just right. We were like right there on the edge. And they threw in the towel on me. And they threw in the towel on the program. They threw in the towel on the process. And one of the things about overcoming and achieving super amazing results is sometimes you got to just hang in there and not let go of the rope. You got to hang on to the rope, even though you got blisters on your hands and it doesn't feel good. People are laughing at you. Why are you still hanging in there? Why are you still dealing with that? You should be doing this. You should be doing that. You should quit and switch and do something different. Guess what happens every single time you quit and do something different? You lose the momentum that you had. You lose the courage that you built up. And now you have to start and learn something all over again. You got to start retrusting somebody all over again. You got to start another process all over again, because if you don't do one thing, you got to do something else, because you're not dead yet. You're still alive. You're still living. You still have things that you need to do. Things need to get done. So if you stop one thing because you don't believe in it, you got to start something different. You can't do nothing. You got to do something. And it takes courage. So no matter what you do, you think this thing is better than the other. You got to stick with it and have courage to see it through, because you need to overcome. We all want to overcome, because we're going to have to overcome. Retiring is something you got to overcome. Setting up money for retirement, you have to do that. You can't retire with nothing. Some people do. They eke by, they scratch by. But that's not the people that I'm talking to. I'm talking to people that want to overcome, talking to people that want to get ahead, talking to people that want a better life for their children. They want a better life for their families. They want a better life for their communities. They want a better life for themselves, because they want to overcome. But if you quit, you got to start something different. I'm not saying you're right or wrong, but I'm saying you're going to have to do something. And no matter what it is that you do, you're going to have to overcome. Because if you don't overcome, you're going to underwhelm. And if you want to know a little bit more about your situation and how I can help you overcome, click in my show notes, get on my calendar. I'd love to have a conversation with you about being an overcomer. So I thank you for tuning in today. I want you to have an overcomer mindset. And until next time, everybody, 1, 2, 3, let's get it.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.